I remember when crossplay was a dream, when the thought of these large corporations crossing their forbidden streams would never happen, when it truly was a pipe dream to reach across to the other side and play with my PlayStation friends that didn't have an Xbox, or to play with my Xbox friends that didn't have a PC. Back when the idea of crossplay was the solution to lower player numbers. Nowadays, I kind of loathe the fact that crossplay is the standard. Even more so because the way gaming works now, crossplay wouldn't really be the thing that necessarily saves player bases. Don't get me wrong, it would definitely help, but it's not as needed anymore. So why do I feel this way? Why do I feel like crossplay is seriously harming multiplayer shooters? Well, before I get really negative about things that just annoy the hell out of me, let me talk about something I actually do like. And that's money. Okay, not really, but the idea of not having to worry about paying rent does make me happy, and that's why so many people accept sponsors. And being real, I generally don't like doing sponsors. It breaks up my workflow, and then there's a back and forth between the company that'll ask me to do about 20 million tiny changes that mean nothing, and there's no reason for those changes. This is the one exception to those sponsors I don't mind doing, and that is Into the AM. I've been working with this company for like 5 years now, and the reason I continuously take their sponsors is because I actually wear their products. These shirts, I just pulled them out of my closet. They were hanging in there because I wear them often. You can probably tell. They still look more or less new, but you can tell they've been worn in a little bit. I wear these a lot. I really do like them. They're high quality shirts, so I'm fine advertising for them. I mean, I was already wearing this shirt. I didn't put this on before I started recording this. I like their shirts because they're comfortable, they're soft, there's something to wear while I lay in bed playing Pokemon. I mean, no one's gonna kick open my front door and then start judging my clothes. That said, they do have a bunch of really cool designs that are made by actual people. None of these are AI designs. You can track the artist if you want to. The person that contacts me talks to me as a real person. He wants to do what is best for my channel, what is best for me, and in return, they get what is best for them, and the audience gets a good deal and some good quality products. They make more than just shirts, by the way. They make a bunch of clothes. I wear them all the time, and I do really like them. That said, right now is their Black Friday sale. Started on November 3rd, ends on November 30th, up to 60% off. And if you use my link, intotheam.com/dragonshirts, you can get an additional 10% off. So you can get 70% off. This is the only time of the year they do these deals. It will not be coming back until next year. They've also been reaching out a lot less for sponsors due to the current state of everything. I will not get into that in this video, but do note that it would definitely be helping Into the AM by buying something from their shop. It would definitely be helping me, and you guys would be getting a good product out of it. Okay, but enough advertising. You guys want to hear me complaining about the current modern state of gaming, so let's go to that. Right, crossplay. Why was crossplay such a big deal a few generations ago? Well, multiplayer on the console gaming side really exploded with Xbox Live. Halo basically invented console multiplayer. That is not an exaggeration. Halo 2's popularity, Halo 2's netcode, the way Halo 2 worked was effectively the foundation for Xbox Live. I remember leaving my Halo 2 disc in my console just to see what other people were playing, because Xbox Live didn't tell you back then. PSN was way behind at this time. And back then, consoles were a much bigger deal. Nowadays, you kind of don't have a reason to buy them. Who even knows if we'll get another Xbox? Microsoft seems to be going out the way of Sega and going back to a software company. That could or could not happen, but they're definitely taking a step back. I mean, you don't need an Xbox for anything anymore. Classics that were only on Xbox, like Halo, have been on PC for a long time, and now they're even coming to PlayStation. That has blown a lot of people's minds, but honestly, I saw the writing on the wall. It was crazy back in the day when Halo came to PC, but I've gotten so used to Halo being elsewhere that it coming to PlayStation just isn't a surprise. Even most PlayStation exclusives end up coming to PC at some point. Console exclusives just aren't what they used to be. I think this is a big reason why we don't really see console wars too much nowadays. Like back in the day of the 360 and the PS3, you had to convince your friend to get the same thing you did. I didn't waste my money. It's the best platform. Buy my platform. Come play with me. I can't play with you if you get a PlayStation, let alone trying to convince them to get a gaming PC when from the outside it seems way more complicated than it actually is. But I think the other big factor to console wars not existing is the fact that crossplay makes it not really as important. You don't need to convince people that they can play the same thing as you because it doesn't matter what they get. They can play the same thing as you anyway. I'm on PC and my friend's on Xbox, my other friend's on PlayStation, whatever, we can all play in the same lobby. At a glance, this is awesome. In execution, 99% of my friends play on PC anyway, so crossplay doesn't mean anything to me. And with PC gaming being way more mainstream now than it ever has been, Player numbers are less of a concern just in general. So the problem it was fixing, it fixes a lot less now. The game would not die without crossplay. But still, if there's no downside to it, then no one would complain about crossplay. So why does this video even exist? Well, it's because inherently, keyboard and mouse and controller are different input methods, with one having the advantage over the other. At a glance, it would seem keyboard and mouse has the advantage over controller, and in their default state, it is much easier to aim with a mouse than a controller, let alone all the extra buttons you have to quickly swap weapons or do whatever you need to do. I personally myself hate weapon wheels in games. Having a keyboard is so much better for that. Just objectively, a keyboard and mouse is the best input method for first-person shooters. Developers and publishers know this, so controllers need some sort of handicap to compete. The problem is, this handicap has gotten so extreme that the goal has no longer been to even out keyboard and mouse and controller. The goal has now been lower the skill floor. Now, when this is done through video game mechanics and just good game design, I love a lower skill floor. It gets people into my game and lets them understand the game better without it being frustrating. This is why so many people play Smash Bros instead of traditional fighting games. Smash is easier to understand if you haven't played any fighting game at all. Oddly enough, Smash now has the complete opposite problem, and the skill ceiling has been drastically lowered, and the skill gap just doesn't exist as much anymore. I'm going to take Melee, Project M, Rivals of Either over Smash 4, Brawl, Ultimate any day. In fact, I hate what has happened to Smash, but that's for a totally different conversation. In fact, while we're on the topic of Nintendo is the only place you really do see console wars nowadays. For the most part, I mean, Sony fans can be pretty bad, but nothing like Nintendo fans. They are completely willing to just shove their head in the ground and ignore anything bad about Nintendo because my favorite Mario game, how dare you? Crossplay is something we don't even need to talk about with Nintendo because Nintendo is probably never going to have good online anyway, let alone crossplay. Also, their games are never going to be anywhere else, so crossplay doesn't matter. Too long didn't read fuck Nintendo, that's all I'm saying. Probably going to get sued for this video now. Totally lost my train of thought. What was it? Right. Input methods. The solution to keyboard and mouse being stronger than controller has always been aim assist. Now, aim assist, like skill-based matchmaking, when done right, isn't really a problem. It's a nice handicap. The problem is what it has become. Every time I bring this up, console players will come to me and go, oh, you just need to get good. And I can guarantee you, 10 times out of 10, they are saying this because they have never had to aim with a keyboard and mouse. The most difficult part of aiming is tracking your opponent. Aim assist takes this almost completely out of the equation. Aim assist is tracking the opponent for you. Because yes, it is significantly easier to point and click on heads with a mouse, which does give mouse an advantage when it comes to, say, long-range sniping, but in most engagements, that's not what you're doing. In most engagements, you are tracking someone close to medium range with an automatic weapon. At this point, a lot of people try to boil this down to, okay, well then get good and aim better, taking the other person out of the equation, but that's not how that works. The other person's job is to make it as hard as possible to shoot at them. It's also your job to make it as hard as possible for them to shoot at you. You're not shooting at stationary targets, you are shooting at people strafing back and forth, crouching, jumping, trying to throw you off. With a keyboard and mouse, this is all reaction time. You are reacting to an unpredictable opponent's movements. With a controller, you don't even have to think about that. You just hold L and shoot and win. Even in games where the aim assist isn't as strong as, say, Call of Duty, it's really apparent when you're fighting a controller user. Let's take Battlefield. At range, controller users generally don't have very good aim. But the moment you get into medium to close range, they suddenly drill you. That same person that couldn't hit shit 50 feet further away suddenly has the accuracy of a god. This clip is a perfect example. He is tracking people perfectly until he turns to shoot at his teammate, and then his aim is all over the place because you don't get aim assist on your teammates. It's a perfect example to show how bad aiming is on a controller with no aim assist and how broken it is currently. Aim assist needs to be somewhere between these two, but I've given up on that happening. A few years ago, I came across a video where someone was making accusations that a Halo Infinite player was cheating. As it turns out, this player was. Kind of. But in my mind, not really, because they were using a Zim. Basically, they were using something that kept letting them get a keyboard and mouse, while still keeping aim assist on their keyboard and mouse. And I just found it really funny that controller users sat there and went, oh my god, that's cheating, that's so unfair, while they've had aim assist for years. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry, now you suddenly don't have the advantage, it's a big deal. And 343 apparently agreed, because in the next patch for Halo Infinite, they gave keyboard and mouse a bit of aim assist. We have genuinely got to that point. It's very obvious that developers and publishers, probably publishers more than developers, aren't going to tone down aim assist. So keyboard and mouse needs something to compete. And this is not an opinion. This isn't me just going, oh, I think it's unfair. Like, no, statistically, every single game that has competitive multiplayer, controller is stronger because of how strong aim assist is now. It's been that way basically ever since crossplay became standard. This isn't coming from just a disgruntled PC gamer. I'm sitting next to my Xbox One and my 360 and my Switch. I have all platforms for games I want to play. I grew up playing Halo on my Xbox, on my 360, on my Xbox One. When I was younger, I definitely put more time into my consoles for games like Halo and Time Splitters. I put up with the horrible controls of Time Splitters 2 because I loved that game, and I was playing it more than my PC at the time. I play on controller for games where I am forced. Take the Master Chief Collection. When it comes to single player, I use keyboard and mouse. When it comes to multiplayer, I use controller because I have to. Now, as if that wasn't bad enough, we're getting even more insane. In Battlefield 6, controller users get less recoil. I am not kidding you. That is not an opinionated hearsay, whatever. That's literally what is happening. They get 25% less recoil. That's fucking insane. We are no longer talking about controller players getting aimbot level aim assist. We're talking about controller players getting different stats in game for choosing a controller. And to make things even worse, PC players in Battlefield 6 can't even turn off crossplay, whereas console users can. Why? In what fucking world does that make sense? And trying to lower the skill floor in these kinds of ways, fully knowing that most of the casual base is using a controller on console, has resulted in stronger and stronger skill-based matchmaking, and then different forms of skill-based matchmaking that are supposed to prefer engagement over actually being skill-based matchmaking, which has now resulted in things like no longer even having server browsers in a PC-centric game like Battlefield. You can see why I feel that these cascading effects has led to crossplay ruining multiplayer PvP games. I used to really be in a game called Iron Sight. I say used to because it has unfortunately shut down. It had a good long run, but all games must come to an end. Iron Sight was a Black Ops 2 clone, and it was really good. It was basically our only alternative to people that wanted old feeling Call of Duty instead of whatever the fuck it is nowadays. But in Iron Sight, it was PC only and didn't have controller support. And boy, did I feel that right away. When people don't have controllers with aim assist, every gunfight lasts longer because your strafe actually fucking matters. That crouch that you threw into that gunfight actually made them miss. Gunfights are going to last a few bullets longer, even in a game like Iron Sight where the time to kill is incredibly quick. Having basically aimbot level aim assist takes out a lot of the skill in the one-on-one gunfights that you would get into, let alone changing the stats of your game for controller users. I believe this is the main reason why Battlefield 6 maps suck as a whole. I'm sure you've noticed it. All the maps are much smaller than typical Battlefield, and your usual engagements are a lot closer. Not only is this to keep the attention of ADHD-style gamers that are too used to Call of Duty speed nowadays, but this is also to keep people within their aim assist ranges, where their controller is going to be able to aim for them, to make them not frustrated, to give them that free, easy kill. This is not to say that Battlefield 6 is a bad game. I've had fun with it, but a lot of that is because this is a step in the right direction compared to the way Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042 was. Make no mistake, Battlefield 6 is nowhere near as good as Battlefield 3, Battlefield 1, or Battlefield 4 were. It's palatable, but really frustrating because it could be so much better. And crossplay is just one of the issues that is making it worse. The fact that all of this has led to no server browser is so frustrating. What we really need is input-based matchmaking. That solves the problem entirely. Because again, you can plug a controller into your PC, and I do this when I feel I need to use a controller to compete. But if I don't even have to worry about people on controller, I can just have fun with the way Battlefield used to feel. But nope, everything is going to inevitably have crossplay nowadays with, for some reason, the ability to turn it off gone on PC for no reason, and no input-based matchmaking. So you just have to put up with this bullshit. As you can probably tell, I'm not very positive on multiplayer PvP games nowadays. I don't like the trend shooters are going to. I hate battle royales. I hate hero shooters. I'm not interested in extraction shooters. I would have much more fun with them if they were just co-op and there was no PvE VP in there. I don't want to deal with some dickhead ruining my co-op fun. And I have enjoyed the few co-op specific extraction shooters I've played. But on top of all this, you have to deal with crossplay and aim assist, and now controller players getting better stats than you do, and it's just fucking dumb. I've been holding off on making this video for a very long time, but the fact that controller users are getting less recoil than PC users is just insanely stupid to me, and that really pushed me to make this video. There's no goal to this video, there's no end point. I can't just be like, oh, well, we can just fix it by doing this, because I don't think anything's ever going to happen. I think they're going to continue pushing aim assist the way it is and keep making these changes and keep trying to lower the skill floor as much as possible, despite how much it fucks over other people. And if you're on console, you're probably saying, I don't fucking care, it's easier for me, get good. And to those saying get good, I would tell you, your controller aims for you, sit down. I mean, shit, the amount of times I've seen console players complain about crossplay because they're saying all the tryhards are using keyboard and mouse and there's hackers everywhere drives me insane. Cheaters are definitely something you should tackle, although I never seem to find hackers and people act like they're in every game. More importantly, if you get input-based matchmaking, those tryhards are using a controller. You're still going to get stomped. They're just better than you. Mouse and keyboard is not the reason you're losing. You literally have legal aimbot. Stop complaining. This mainly affects PC gamers, but it's super frustrating, and I've kind of shifted away from multiplayer shooters just as a whole because nothing has interested me, and the few things that have been harmed by this a lot. So yeah, end of rant. That's all this video was. I just wanted to sit here and bitch for I don't know how long it's been. So that was a negative video as a whole, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you to intotheam.com for sponsoring my video. If you go to intotheam.com/dragonshirts, you can get an additional 10% off of their Black Friday sale, which could be up to 60% off, so possibly 70% off. Thank you to my YouTube members for supporting my channel. They get to see my videos at minimum a week ahead of time, sometimes multiple weeks or even a month ahead of time. It's pretty cheap. I keep it on the cheap, but it does help me, and these guys have been helping me for a while now. It means so much to me that people just want to chuck money at me to keep making these videos. And if you want to support me in other ways, there is a playlist up here that is just a bunch of videos like this. There's a recommended one that YouTube thinks you'll like here. You can subscribe by clicking this, or if you want to hang out with me while I stream, I have fun streaming on Twitch, and my Twitch is right here. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.